That's what's up.
Yeah.
You ever been to a play, Tammy?
No. Well, I
Have you
went
been to a Daniel Barksdale play?
I just
That's
went
the
to one
question.
Tyler Perry play, and I haven't went to yours. So I'm looking forward to getting to one though. When is the
Okay.
next one? Like, do you have dates? Or?
We do. Our next one and the last one in Lynchburg is June 24th at Destiny Christian Fellowship. And that's
Okay.
this coming Saturday.
Okay, and that's
Yep.
over by Paramount, right? Like
It is.
Got you. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
It's Bishop J and Pastor Kim's church.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So is that where you always do your plays?
Recently, I started at my church and then I moved in because of the space. We had outgrew the space in the fellowship hall. So then I took them to the recreational center. And then after that, that's when they got moved to Destiny because I found a band. And the band at the time, they played for Destiny. And so I was just like, it worked out perfect. They had their equipment there. We can have the show there. So they had to move equipment. And so that's how we got it at Destiny. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they've been amazing partner to work with the shows because, they trust me and I trust them. And it's just a beautiful partnership.
Beautiful partnership.
Beautiful partnership. Yes.
You hear that, Tammy? That's what we got to develop, that beautiful partnership.
That's it.
Come on. Go
So
on.
tell me this: what have some of your challenges been in doing this? You said you started at 16. That was when you wrote your first one.
Yeah.
Because I know myself, you'll have a plan for yourself. You want to do things a certain way. You see them a certain way, but it doesn't always pan out that way.
Right.
So over the years of you doing it, because you say you're 26 now, so that's 10 years ago, if I'm doing my math right.
Yes.
I'm sure it's been some kind of issues along the way.
It has. The one that I can really think of now is just finding people. That's been like the hardest. Well, not now, but it was a hard thing to find people because, God would give me all these characters and I'm like, okay, that's great. And I know the storyline and all this, different things. And then I write the script and it's like, okay, well, who's going to play this part? Who's going to play that part? Because at the time I was looking for like my church members. But I mean, I'm not going to say they wasn't qualified, but I just don't believe those are the people who God wanted to be in the play.
Gotcha.
And that was the hardest part to be able to find people. But like I always say, when you're following God's will, He will provide, and He did that. And it wasn't even me looking for people; they just kind of showed up by association.
Okay.
So like basically, like if I asked you to be a part of the show and you said yes, and then I say, hey, well, do you know somebody else can be this character? And you're like, oh yeah, I know this person, and then that's kind of how it went.
Okay.
So that would probably be the hardest part, and I guess the second one would have to be getting the seasoned saints on board when we went to different churches presenting the show, because a lot of people at first they didn't agree with the plays being at the altar and stuff
Gotcha.
like that.
So could you give us like an example of that?
So when we first began, I gotta make sure I'm on camera. I can't be saying too much. I don't want to hurt my feelings. No, I'm joking.
Well, let's just not say names.
Right. I'm just gonna say person one, person two. No, I'm joking. But so when we first started doing the plays, we would take them to churches, and I was already a little nervous because some of the stuff in it was, like I said, real life content. And me, I don't water down my stuff. It is what it is. So when we were taking them to we were taking them to the churches. A lot of the seasoned saints, they didn't like it. So some of them would walk out during the show. And they would just be saying, hey, you shouldn't be doing that at the church, and that don't belong in the church. And I'm saying to myself, I mean, yes, there are certain things that should not be in the church, but this is ministry work. And ministry is not going to always look the same to everybody.
And at the end of the day, it's real life stuff.
And it's real life stuff. And the things we were talking about, they weren't necessarily, I don't think people were really talking about in church. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about a whole lot of different topics. But, I mean, at the end of the day, these are people are going through these things Monday through Saturday. You know what I'm saying? And people they never understood that when I was presenting them at first. They were just making it seem like, oh, well, what he's doing really shouldn't be in church because of, we should keep it, I guess, holy or whatever, just sing songs, preach, and go home. But I was saying to myself, it's way more that we can do to bring people in, So that was a challenge, too, in the beginning. And that's why I cut off doing them at churches.